Oh, so I just finished reading IRIS Module 3, which is about evidence-based practices and how to assess their fidelity and student outcomes. Student outcomes is how students are progressing towards a goal, and fidelity is how the person administering the intervention is being faithful to the EBP itself. Fidelity is like the adherence of the EBP, its exposure and duration, the quality of delivery. If the EBP is low, that would mean that it's being heavily adapted or modified. It might not be done consistently. It might not be done at the same time. The teacher might phone it in one day or two or three. That would all lower fidelity. In order to collect information on fidelity, it's important that the teacher uses task analysis to break down what they would do during a session using the EBP from start to finish. And as they're conducting the EBP, they would mark off everything they did throughout the session. Then you would graph it to make sure that you're still consistent with it. Because naturally it's easy to drift away from what the EBP, like the procedures of the EBP, which would lower the fidelity. In order to collect student progress data, you would use formal assessment, just so you can see formal assessment, which is cheap, easy to use, and can be done frequently. And you would use those data points on a graph to see how the progress is. Now, if I were to use the EBP of the good behavior game, where the teacher scores students based off the rules they follow, and then they get an incentive at the end of the session or day or week, I would monitor student progress through the score each day. In a sense that would kind of be formal assessment, or I would pick one day out of the week or 2 days out of the week, which I would use those as data points, and then the rest of as data points. In order to progress monitor, I would first collect the baseline data using ABC, interval, and frequency systems of data collection, and I would try to at least collect three times a week. After I've gotten that data, I would identify a goal. All right, so if I notice the students are talking too much, then the good behavior game would revolve around not talking, or maybe sitting quietly, or paying attention to instruction. Anyways, then I would start to collect data on the intervention itself. Then I would draw a graph. I would input the data in a graph, draw a line, see what the benchmark would be in the goal. And I would administer the data collection at least 2 or 3 times a week. And it's important to constantly graph the scores, as that's what's telling you if it's effective or not. To check for the fidelity of this EBP, I would use the checklist that I mentioned earlier, where I would break down every step on my end of the procedure and just check for the adherence, the quality, and the duration of it, and how I demonstrate the instruction towards it. Again, it's important to always progress monitor and collect fidelity data, because there's a very distinct relationship between the two of them. If fidelity is good and student outcome is also good, then it's easy to say that the EBP is effective. If the fidelity is high but student outcome is low, then that means that the EBP is not effective, and it's safe to say that fidelity is low and student outcome is high, then it's not safe to say that the EBP is working, or certain components are working. And then finally, if fidelity is low and student outcome is low, it's hard to say if the EBP was effective or not. it would be unclear if it was effective or not. So again, with a good behavior game and monitoring fidelity and student progress monitoring, I would use a checklist. I would use the scores and some formal assessment to see how effective the EBP is. Anyways, thanks for listening. Have a good one.